Hey everybody, welcome to another quick mix tip on a Tuesday. Okay, so another quick mix tip on a Tuesday, and today we're going to be talking about reverb and specifically when to use reverb directly onto a track. All right, so I'm going to just switch your brain around for a second, and what I want you to think is the following. If we open up a reverb over here, we got it here, and I want you to think like this. These are your ears right now, right? And the closer I move to it, the more forward I'm becoming in the mix, and it's getting a little bit uncomfortable. Now, what you can do is then put a reverb directly onto that track, and with the dry wet knob, push back the thing that makes you uncomfortable. For instance, my vocals, the more you would push this, the more I would go back into the room and the more of the room you would hear. Now imagine that this whole room is full of instruments and I can physically push back instruments with just pushing the dry wet of this reverb, right? Okay, so that's the first thing that I just want you to get your head around, because then you can answer the following question. Is something too forward in your mix? Does something make you feel a little bit uncomfortable and like you're being abused in an ASMR video? Like this. Is it just a little bit strange? Then, if that is the case, push them back with a tiny little bit of dry wet, okay? So I'm just going to let you hear that. And then at the end of this all, I'm going to also share a little secret with you guys. But right now, let's just listen to this wet and dry. Let's first start with wet. So I've pushed a few instruments back a little bit, and those are pretty much the really nasty snare and the woody little snare over here that were just too forward in the mix. And they were just a little bit too transient, heavy, and going, hey, how's it going? Like, like I wasn't feeling too good about that. So I put two little reverbs on there to just push them back. They also both have different time signatures. And the reason why one has a longer decay time than the other one is because the following. Here on the really nasty snare, we have a shorter decay time because we have shorter intervals between when the snares are being played back. On the other one, we have longer intervals of when the snares are being played back. So how do you set your decay time? It's probably the next question, right? Well, first, identify, who the culprit is that is too forward in your mix. Then put on a pretty wet sound. Try to set your decay time. So your decay time, what I suggest you do is you have the first snare over here. And what I want to do is whenever the next hit is coming along, there, I kind of want to have the tail end of the reverb to just fade away at that moment in time. Okay? Now, once you've set that up, then put your dry wet back to 0 and then push it back up slowly until you're happy with where that snare has been pushed back into the room. I do highly suggest that you do the dry wetness in the entirety of the mix itself. So don't solo it and do it in solo. It's going to sound really awkward. Just close your eyes and slowly put up your dry wet until you go like, okay, I like where that snare or where that vocal or where that bleepy sound is now located. All right, so really slowly. All right, next part you're probably going to be asking is, what about the size? What about the stereo amount? Well, here's a quick answer to that. The smaller the size, the more color the reverb is going to have. So small size means bathroom and bathroom reverb. Well, it's not really the most beautiful thing. The bigger the size, the bigger the venue, okay? And for stereo, what you can do is shape, if it's a hallway, so it goes and it goes all the way down, or if it's more of a cathedral type of experience where it's like a really big, wide cathedral thing. So you can go very stereo if you like. So if you're going to be doing different reverbs, you can start messing with different stereos. See? It's a kind of a nice thing to do. Okay, and here comes the last little tip, because reverb, yeah, it's cool, it's quite easy, but if it's a rhythmical thing, you can also put on a little bit of delay as well. Okay, let me show you this in solo with and without the delay. So that's how much reverb's on there. And then with the delay. And then when you do this with the delay and you use this filter here, what you can do is get the reverb to go in the top end, and then you get the delay to go, and it's just a kind of nasty little secret. You can put the delay before as well and then put the reverb, but right now I like the delay afterwards. Okay, so let's just see that in the mix of these drums. Delay off. It's just that tiny little bit of a smidgen to just add a little bit more depth to your mix, to go reverb delay, or you can do delay reverb, but it's nice to keep that filter in there because then it goes tu 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 tu. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this tiny little mix fix. If you have a problem with something being too forward in your mix, put a reverb on that and you should be okay. If you'd like these kind of tips, make sure to subscribe. They're going to be on every Tuesday. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section. Maybe I'll make a quick mix tip on that topic. Also, if you have tons of questions, I have patreon.com/catandbeats where I make videos like this for all my users. And if I hit 100 patrons, then I'm going to be building a studio in a less than ideal room. And I'm going to show you it the whole way, and it's going to be awesome. Anyway, much love. Take care. Peace out. See you guys again next week, Tuesday, and on Thursdays for really long mixing sessions. All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.